Hello, my name is Scott Hall. I am going to be doing a little series of videos in which I am going to display the different voices that I can do, to just try to have fun with it. Also, too, if I can get an opportunity to do these professionally, whether different characters that I can do that I can also work on, or even in my own voice, as I am also a sportscaster, because I have been kind of messing with and dabbling with doing different voices for several years now. And I've always been interested in character voices. That's one of the things that I love, especially with cartoons, when you can tell that somebody is doing a voice that is not theirs, or even people who you can tell that it's their voice, but they're pretty good at being able to read a script and making everything come to life. I've always enjoyed that. But what I'm going to be doing to help display these voices is reading selections from Edgar Allan Poe's stories and poems. So I have this nice big collection right here of Edgar Allan Poe. And so I thought it could be interesting, especially since some of the voices that I do, one's a tough guy mobster, two's a old professor that sounds like he's been alive for maybe about 500 years, and another one's a little sounds like he's a little mini devilish character, but there's also a few others. The mobster that I will be doing in this first one is actually a voice I started doing quite a while back, and I featured him in a radio drama that I produced for my practicum for my undergrad here at Marshall, and his character's name was John Santarelli. Go figure, sounds like a typical mobster, right? But so the first story that I'll be reading as the tough guy mobster is from the end of The Telltale Heart. Not going to read the whole story because that could be a bit long. But I'm going to pick up in the story from where he has already done the deed. The old man is dead. He's now under the floor, and the cops have shown up at his place. So go figure, a mobster trying to evade the cops, in a sense, from not letting them know that he has hidden a body under the floor. So anyway, so I'll be doing this story. I'll be doing other ones as well, popping up with, like I said, the different voices that I can do, and other sections of Edgar Allan Poe stories. I've always loved Edgar Allan Poe stuff, and I think it could be quite interesting to see what could kind of come up with some of these different voices. But anyway, so tough guy mobster, The Telltale Heart, picking up from when the old man is dead and the police have now shown up.
When I had made an end of these labors, it was 4:00, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men, who introduced themselves, with perfect suavity, as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been lodged at the police office, and they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had I fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officers were satisfied. My manner had them convinced. I was singularly at ease. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chattered familiar things. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still they sat, and still chatted. The ringing became more distinct. It continued, and became more distinct. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained definitiveness, until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. No doubt I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently, with a heightened voice. Yet the sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. I arose and argued about trifles in a high key and with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observation of the men, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise arose over all and continually increased. It grew louder, louder, louder. And still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God! No! No! They heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no more. I felt that I must scream or die. And now again, hark, louder, louder, louder. Villains, I shrieked. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here. It is the beating of his hideous heart. So there we go, a little Mobster reading from the Telltale Heart. Anyway, like I said, there will be some other ones that'll pop up, but I also have other voices that I can do. As like I said, I am a sportscaster as well, so I've had plenty of on-air time in my life, and I know I can read a script, no problem. And also I've had a few times with acting as well. But anyway, if you're interested, there are different ways to get a hold of me, and they'll be down below the video here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.